Teachers are resigning these days because of, or previous days to date, because of the lots of frustration from the employer. We are being used like always on the pilot basis.
Are you aware that 44,000 teachers out of 2,084,000 teachers have left the teaching profession in 2021 alone? Anyway, this figure makes up to 15% in the last 20 years. Now, the question is, how soon will they be replaced? And why did they quit the profession? With me in the studio today is Mr. Edmund Boye. He's a social commentator and a professional teacher with 17 years of experience. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad you made it to my studios today.
It's my honor.
All right, so looking at how I said earlier in my studios, what is actually causing teachers to resign from their profession?
Well, teachers are resigning these days because of, or previous days to date, because of the lots of frustration from the employer. We are being used like always on the pilot basis. We are the ball and they play us the way they want. And when these frustrations grow to some extent, you realize that if the teacher gets any other opportunity, he or she leaves. We have lots of teachers who have gone outside the country to for greener pastures. Sometimes when they go, they get the opportunity to teach there. Sometimes they drop the teaching and do other work for their finances.
So when you say frustration, what specifically, and who is the employer you're talking about, if you don't mind?
Well, as we all know, GES is our employer, but even with GES, he is the most often he implements the directive from Ministry of Education.
Okay.
But when we come to the basic schools, it's the GES who solely man our activities. So frustrations coming from today do this, tomorrow do that, it makes the classroom teacher very frustrated.
So how would you describe Ghana's education currently?
Well, currently I think currently the education, it's okay. I'll say it's okay because any syllables or curriculum that you are using must go through certain changes. And as we all know, change is difficult. That is why currently we find it difficult to accept the change being implemented. But let's give ourselves by maybe 2 years or a year or so, everything will be normalized. So to me, it's okay. It's okay. Just that change is difficult for the black man, or let me say, change is difficult for every human being.
Okay. So you're talking about change, and what changed is it in the curriculum? Because the last time I checked, since Rawlings's time to our current government, that is the president of Ghana's Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, it's been 517 times that the correct curriculum of our educational system has been changed. 517 times. So when we say we should give ourselves 2 years, we couldn't even finish, or we're not able to change 500 for 517 times. We've been struggling with our curriculum. So what are you talking about, please?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that, for example, the last curriculum, some of them were reviewed in 2010, some were reviewed in 2007. Now, society is so dynamic in such a way that you can use the same curriculum to train our future leaders. So in one time or the other, you realize the policymaker trying to update the curriculum. There's nothing wrong with once a while we go back to the drawing board to look at the What are we teaching our children? What are our children learning from the classroom? Do we need any form of update? I must say that even with our phones, we update them. The software developers will even give you the update automatically to update your phone. So we human beings that we are very dynamic, our thinking grows, our style of work changes. Definitely we must update or change our curriculum. If not change completely, still we need to remove some and add some. Other than that, this country cannot move forward.
So is that the reason why it's bringing kind of frustration among teachers? Because as we speak, per the information we have at hand, some teachers are not able to even afford textbooks, or textbooks have not been given to teachers to teach. So they resort to buying their own textbooks. So per the what you just told me, that means that if you want to be changing curriculums each and every time, isn't it necessary that you involve teachers and stakeholders?
Well, it's very, very necessary that you involve stakeholders, which the teachers are not the only stakeholders in our education sector. In our education sector, we have parents, we are like PTAs, Parents Teacher Association, whereby even the child is also involved. So it's not only teachers. But I must say that teachers have teacher unions
Okay.
that most often they are called upon to make their inputs in any change in our education. Maybe sometimes they are not engaged fully, but there is some sort of engagement for some of these changes in our education system.
So you having 17 years of experience as a teacher, for the past 17 years that you've been teaching, what do you think should be changed in our curriculum when it comes to educational system, looking at the rate of unemployment in the country?
Well, education in relation to unemployment, unemployment is not only caused by what we teach the children in the classroom. Unemployment in a whole has a bigger factors. It has a lot of factors, let me say. But if we want to look at education in relation to unemployment, I must say that everything, whatever you are being taught in class, has its effect in the job market. We actually, curriculum planners don't take the lessons or the topics in abstract. They look at the what is happening across the globe, and they structure the lessons in the classrooms. Yes, more often what people say that what you are taught in school, when you come to the outside world, is totally different. It's not totally different. For example, when you were going to school, or when I was going to school, I didn't learn how to come and sit for such an interview. I was taught maybe what is an atom, a smaller particles and those things. So I was taught something, but those things that you were taught, it develops the brain so that every challenge you meet on the way with the education you've had, you can apply it and it will work for you. Just that our education system has been like full of, when you complete school you have to be employed by somebody. When you complete school you have to be employed by somebody. Our education is not geared towards being entrepreneur. Yes, I'm finishing school to think and do something.
And
And
what
that
do you think is causing that?
yeah, what is causing that is the British. This is the formal education they left us with, and we are also continuing it. And they left us with this kind of education because of resources available. When you go to their part of the world, they have the resources. So even when you are learning in the classroom, a time will come they can even take you to the field to go and experience what you are learning. But in Ghana or in Africa, let me tell you, the resources are not there. They are not there. People say we have the resources, but if I give you money right now and I say show you where the resources are, it is a long story. It's not easy.
When you say the resources are not there, can you give me a specific, maybe particular resource that can help our educational system but is not currently there?
Okay, so for example, we need more factories so that students can even go to the factory to learn practical. But as we speak right now, we've had a government who is championing one district, one factory. It is their wish that this thing will come to reality. But let me tell you, when you go into details, it's not easy to achieve those things. So up to now, we don't even know where the one district, one factory has gotten to. It's not always that we need to blame the politicians or blame our leaders. It is not easy to get certain things. We don't have, for example, as we speak currently, we say we've gotten oil. We've gotten oil. But still, no matter how we are going to mine the oil or bring the oil, we take it to other country for them to refine it and bring it back for us to buy it. So, well, you can sit back and say we have oil, yet we are buying fuel at a very expensive price. You've forgotten that we don't have the GMPC as we speak right now. It's not refining oil because of challenges. And I think our leaders wish that they will solve these problems. But it's not easy as we think.
So if you say that we have raw materials, basically the oil you spoke about.
Yeah.
Now, is it that we lack the technical know-how or we lack the equipment? Because if we are able to refine our raw materials like cocoa. Now the Chinese are even growing cocoa and harvesting and then refining it back to us for us to buy them. So if they came here, they saw how we make our produce, we cultivate our cocoa, and they saw that okay, they can add value to it. Why don't we champion and focus more on that? Because per what you are saying, that means that we lack the technical know-how and the equipment at the same time.
Yes, I must say that in every country, when you lack the technical know-how, that is why we have something we call international trade. You can even send human resource from here to go and learn. And we have most Ghanaian doctors who go to Cuba to be trained and they come back. We can do that as well. But sometimes you look at your market size. The market size also come to play when you produce. Most often you need to export it. We need to export it. Now with you exporting it, maybe that country is even producing better one than yours. So we have the resource. We don't have much resources to build the factories. But when it comes to human resource, we can easily get those things, send them outside to go and learn, and we can build something. But I must say, words are easier said than done.
Okay, so
it's not easy like that.
So apparently, if we have challenges when it comes to implementing certain decisions, then why do we make the decisions in the first place?
Oh, okay. As for the decision, you have to make it. You have to make a decision. But most often, I must say, people make decisions thinking it is easy to achieve. Like our politicians, they will climb the political platforms and they say whatever they want to say because they've noticed that is what the people want to hear. They themselves, they know that it is not easy to come by some of the decisions they do. But because if I come here and I tell you that yes, Ghana will build a lot of factories, you'll be happy and you vote for me. But somebody like myself, if a politician comes to tell me I'll build a lot of factories, I'll tell that politician you are a liar. You can't do it. You can't do it. Even the Kwame Nkrumah's own crowd, we have not been able to maintain them.
Exactly.
And you are coming, it's not possible. It's just to get your vote. That's all.
Interesting. So with that particular one, now as a teacher, how do you get your official communicate or communicate from your subordinates or your employer?
I must say, when I was a teacher, when I came out as a newly trained teacher, our circuit supervisors will come and give you your letters that this is what your employer wants you to do. But in this era or our generation, most of the communique, it's on WhatsApp, it's on social media.
Why?
Yeah, because that is faster. That travels faster than any other thing. So, for example, if they want to communicate to you, the information will be sent to maybe regional education directors on their phones, social media. So regional director also have to send to the district directors. District directors will send it to the CISOs, like let me say the circuit supervisors. Circuit supervisors to head teachers to the teachers. And look at the bureaucracy from regional, district, circuit supervisors to head teachers to teachers. This thing, if you are using paper, by the time the paper gets to the teacher, what do you think will happen? But with our phones, you can easily send this thing within the twinkle of an eye, and the information will be disseminated. So yes, it is true. Currently, most of our communique, we see it on social media.
Interesting. Okay, so now I read from that you are a teacher.
Yes.
Now we heard about what happened to your colleague, teacher Kojo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that he was sacked because of one or two issues with the employer. What will you make of this? Was he really treated fairly?
Well, teacher Kojo was, I can't sit here to decide whether he was treated fairly or not. It is the law court with a judge that will listen to both sides of the coin to say whether he was treated fairly or not. I don't want to be a judge in this particular matter, but I also have a view. To me, as a teacher, one of the key things in the teaching service, maybe you might not know, is the writing of lesson notes. And I want to say it on air that if supervisors come from region, from district, and you a teacher, you are the best teacher in the whole world, and they don't see your lesson note, please forget, you are not the best teacher. They will never even give you one CD, a coin, as congratulations. The profession is known to be a profession whereby teachers have to prepare their lesson note. For what I heard, teacher Kojo was not writing lesson notes, and even I learned he was typing the lesson notes. Now, this is a little bit dicey here. According to teacher Kojo, he has been typing the lesson note. He will go and give it to the head teacher. The head teacher too will say that he will mark a type lesson note because government has paid money for the lesson notebooks. We have special notes that we use to write the lesson note, not any other notebook. So government wants to come and see that lesson note they have paid for, and they're giving it to you, the teacher, free. Just write your lesson note in. They want to see the notes in that book. But with teacher Kojo, I learned he was typing. The head teacher was also not marking. So when inspectors came there and they were inspecting the lesson note, his lesson note was not there. So whether he has been treated fairly or not fairly, per the terms and conditions with teaching service, he needs to write a lesson note. But lest I forget, I teach ICT.
Okay.
So I must put across that writing of lesson note should be the thing of the past. We should be encouraged to type because we are in ICT era. And I think the vice president even said that teachers are being given laptops. Minister have said it, teachers are giving laptops. The issue of writing of lesson note will be a thing of the past. So I think we'll get there. And in fact, the change is now. As I speak with you, when you go to our various classrooms, most teachers are typing their lesson notes. Most teachers are typing it, and it is the best and it is the way to go. So with teacher Kojo, I think it is the law court. They should. I learned he said he will go to court with this particular matter, but they will use the clause of a teacher not writing lesson note to hang him. But I wish him the best.
Interesting. So if we are fighting to be a digital nation, and then some of the schools are even struggling to get computer labs and then other equipment, and they are also going to compete with some of the students in renowned schools in some other parts of the country, and a teacher type lesson note, and it's a crime.
It can't be a crime, but it can also be a crime because crime is described in certain settings. If with the terms of your office or terms and conditions pertaining to your office, we don't drink water here. Drinking of water is not a crime, but since it is the rules governing your work, if you drink water, you can be termed as a crime. It can be termed as a crime because before they employ you, they told you what the do's and don'ts. It doesn't necessarily is a crime. So typing of a lesson note can be a crime and cannot be a crime depending on what your employer asks you to do. You were employed. You want employment. You said unemployment is high. And I have employed you, and I tell you that in my institution we write lesson note. You cannot come and tell me what you feel is right. If you think something is right, then you go and open your own institution and practice your own things there. But I must also conclude by saying that typing of the lesson note is the way to go, and GES should encourage every teacher to be able to type his or her lesson note. This era in which we are, if a teacher cannot type his or her lesson notes, then that teacher should be forcefully retired because the computer is doing everything. But thank God, the new laptops, other districts have received it.
Have you received yours?
No, I haven't, but I have not received it, but all correspondence towards we receiving it has been done. Actually, I want to put this thing across that Accra has been divided into two sectors, and one sector is receiving the laptops. It will get to the second sector and will receive it. And typing of the lesson notes, I will say, is the way to go. Writing will be the thing of the past.
I hope so too. So what do you think will improve our educational system? What do you think is that one thing that when it's implemented it will help? Because the foundation is what is important. So what do you think when implemented will help our educational system?
Well, what should be implemented is that we should get a national standard curriculum.
Okay.
That NDC, CPP, PNC, NPP, no political party will come and say that I have the power and I want to do free SHS. So, Kai, let's bogus everything that you have because I have the power. I'm doing free SHS. Because I have the power, I have to draft a manifesto and just follow my manifesto and forget about the national interest. I want to follow my manifesto. So what can be done is that stakeholders should sit down. We have a lot of professors in this country. We should sit down, get even 30 years of national curriculum. So after 30 years, then if there is any input we can make, subtraction or addition we can make, before our education can be okay. Now, NPP believes in breaking the 8 years. If they are able to break the 8 years, it means that the educational policies they have brought on board will be continued. But what happens if CPP comes to office, NDP comes to office, or NDC comes to office? What happens? They might also say that no, this thing was implemented by our opponents. Let's change it this way. When we do that, the teacher is going to be frustrated, the pupils are going to suffer, and it will not lead us anywhere. So to me, in summary, what I want to say is that we should have a national education policy that no political party can just touch it. Can just touch it.
Okay, so I believe that you have different kind of students in your class, and they have different kinds of IQs and learning pace. Do you suggest that we give accolades to students who have special abilities than those who memorize notes and come and pour at the end of the exam and get A?
I must say that previously our curriculum practiced something of that sort, whereby you learn, memorize everything and come and forget. But with the current curriculum, CCP, Common Core Program, those things will be fade out. Most often, we are not looking at the students who can just memorize things. We are looking at this current curriculum is trying to build a student or a Ghanaian child who can reason and do something, create something for itself. So yes, in the olden days, that is what they do. Memorize, go and pass your exams. But currently, we don't even place much emphasis on the examination. I want to tell you that currently we don't have teachers in the classrooms. We have what we call facilitators. The difference between a facilitator and a teacher is that the teacher teaches you how to write A, even can hold your hands and tell you write A. But with the facilitator, he or she guides you to do it. So with this current curriculum, facilitators are what we have in the classroom. So me myself, I'm a facilitator now. I won't come to the classroom to teach you. I'll give you the assignment, go and research, and gradually things will change to the better.
We hope so. Now, okay.
I don't know your next question, but we have semester and
yes,
we want to come
yes.
there.
So semester and trimester and trimester and quadrimester or whatever the term it. What is happening?
It's very interesting, you know. When now I think government or minister has reversed it to trimester. And previously, per the correspondence sent to us, we know we were going to semesters, and this semester cut across the basic schools. In Ghana currently, when we talk of a basic school, we are talking about KG, primary school, JHS and secondary school. we were all going to do semester, which when you think of that semester cry, you don't understand, because you can come to school 6 months without vacating. The students are suffering, teachers are also suffering. Teachers or facilitators, we have our challenges in our homes already. So when the system is also trying to frustrate us, you come to the classroom and you are already frustrated from the house. Actually, currently, we are running trimester, but I'm not happy.
Why?
The way the change was made. It shouldn't be like our employer, GES, will come and tell you are running semester.
Mm-hmm.
We will sleep, wake up. Minister will also say that it's no more semester, but it's trimester. I don't think ministers should be given that power to just wake up and come and tell us we are going trimester, we are going semester. The body who is managing education in Ghana should be the same person who communicate to us, because with ministerial positions today, our excellency president can say, I'm reshuffling the minister, so you the minister, you can be taken out. So to me, I wish this thing would come from GES, but because as we speak right now, the trimester thing, anywhere I hear it, they mention the minister name attached to it, which it shouldn't be so. It should be GES itself to come and tell us we are running. Even if the minister have any idea, it should communicate to the body set to do that thing, to communicate, so that they will not attach the minister's name. Today he is a minister, tomorrow he might not be the minister. And in a country that you want to develop, you have to build your institutions and not building individual ministers. So, I love the trimester, but where it is coming from, it's my only challenge.
So that means that they are not in collaboration. GES and then the Ministry of Education, they are running their separate roles.
Well, per the information, you can conclude that way. But, I think next time, GES should communicate to us and don't leave it in the hands of a minister who tomorrow might not be a minister, but the institution GES
still remains
there. We have deputy directors, we have directors of education. They should man the affair rather than ministers who come and just go.
Okay, interesting. Now away from education, we heard what happened at Bogoso, where we had some explosions everywhere, and looking at the number of people who passed on. What will you make aside Bogoso? There's been other explosions from last week to today. What do you think is going on now? How do you think, are we responsive as a nation when it comes to our national disasters, and is our emergency system actually working?
It's very interesting issue, and I'm sad, and my condolences goes to those who lost their lives and the family suffering now. I must say that as a country, we've gone through a lot of disasters, and we've had flood disasters, and actually I must say that when it comes to disasters, we have man-made and natural disaster and man-made one. But I can say that with the natural one now, everything has tended to be man-made currently, because our activities are making flood. We have drainage problems and other things. With Bogoso, looking at the time factor, let me go straight to Bogoso issue, because we've had June 3rd, 2015.
Yeah.
I was staying at Sakaman, Blue Lagoon. That place is a waterlogged, but they built houses there. Water entered into my room, spoiled most of my things. My laptop, my fridge was down. I was asleep,
Wow.
and my door was knocked, and I stepped on water in my room, Sacramento, June 3rd, 2015. When there were relief, they said there is relief items, but I must tell you, there wasn't anything of that sort. I didn't even get 1 penny. As a teacher too, where am I going to get the salary to raise myself again? Let's come to Bogoso issue. With Bogoso issue, when there is a disaster like this, we get pictures of the distractions. We get videos on the distractions. Right now, I want us to change it. We want pictures and videos of how those who are suffering have been helped. I would entreat the media to do follow-up on how those who are the victims who are suffering, they need help. They don't need that distraction pictures, because since this Bogoso incident, I'm not going to sit here now to tell the whole story because the whole thing is over there. I believe they didn't follow certain principles. That is why this disaster occurred. I've heard the vice president. I think the next day the vice president was there. I've heard the NADMO coordinator. I've heard the information minister. All what they are saying is this and that. What we want to see, what we want to hear as a country is they are giving the people support. A night after the incident, the males in that community, they were stranded. I watched it on TV. They claimed they were not even given any proper place to sleep. They were just on the roadside. Now, what we want to see, the disaster has happened. What we want to see is that let's see videos, pictures of how these people are being helped. And we should forget it has already happened. But one thing also I want to put across is that Ghanaians, I'm in Ghana, I don't want to generalize it to Africa. In Ghanaians, we should learn to prevention is always better than cure. We shouldn't let the thing happen before we will say we are doing this, we are doing that. Me, if they come to air and tell me they are doing this, I will not believe it. I want to see videos, I want to see pictures like we saw the disasters. Else they will come and tell us lies. So it's very bad, our response to some of these, but we should prevent it.
Okay.
One thing I want to also in short is that we have a lot of bridges that were built during Kwame Nkrumah days. I want to send a message to our authorities. They shouldn't wait till a bridge collapse before they will take their cameras and you, the media, you run there interviewing people. I want to tell authorities that they should start servicing all bridges even in this country. We have one bridge that is on the Kaswa Malam stretch road, the Wager Dam. Those bridges were made long time. Nobody is servicing it. Nobody is inspecting it. Let accident happen right now. Then you see them, they paint their face like they are angels and they are here to solve our problems. It's a lie. Let's maintain them. Let's attend to all bridges in this country. My message to the authorities.
Interesting one day. Now, yesterday we heard that Burkina Faso have had a coup. So we've heard of Guinea, Mali, now Burkina Faso. Do you think it's a wake-up call to African leaders?
Sometimes I wouldn't say African leaders per se, because I'm in Ghana. I'll say it's a wake-up call to Ghanaians and Ghana as a whole, because where Ivory Coast is and where Baku is, we share borders. We share borders there, and even sometimes those people who are threats to society, they come far away to the borders, closer to Baku. So it's a wake-up call, because they moving to Ghana is very easy. Boku, for instance, a police woman was shot, was just shot. He has not done anything to anybody. Sometimes we think those who are doing these things, they are not Ghanaians. Yes, it might be true, because a Ghanaian might not be willing to shoot the fellow Ghanaian. So these people are borders to some of these war zones. It should be a wake-up call for us. Else we'll sit one day, and because of high unemployment rate, these people can start recruiting our young ones, and we'll sit down and they'll start attacking us. Now, as we speak right now, ECOWAS is even losing its power over these African countries. ECOWAS is losing its power because a president, a democratic elect president, can be misbehaving. ECOWAS will not come in. Then when there is a coup d'etat, you see ECOWAS going there. When ECOWAS goes there, normally nobody listens to them. We have ECOWAS. Why haven't they even stopped some of these things from happening? And in this 21st century, 2021, 2022, coup d'etat, we only know coup d'etat in 70s and the 60s. But ECOWAS is losing its grounds, and it's a wake-up call for Ghana.
Okay. So finally, today Parliament is sitting to talk about the most controversial e-levy. What are your expectations, and what do you expect from our lawmakers today?
Our lawmakers, with this current Parliament, I must say that we all wish we will get a balance, 137 year. When we do that, we'll get a better Parliament. But I think it's rather creating chaos. The African man is not used to this kind of Parliament, so it is war over there. Sometimes you ask yourself, the honorables we voted for, they are fighting and chewing ballot papers in those days. But as we speak right now, yes, today they are sitting. It is not going to be different from what we have seen past, because the e-levy, government in power want to pass it. And I must say that the e-levy, it's the best way to go, because every country that want to develop, you have to spread your wings for tax. You have to spread it wide and collect the tax. Other school of thoughts will also have different things to say, but I must say that the e-levy is going to really give us more money for development. Now every district is crying for roads. And as we speak right now, the toll booth, they are not collecting money. They've stopped, because according to the minister, they stopped that thing because they want to collect the e-levy. That the e-levy will give them more money as compared to the road toll they are taking. So the e-levy thing, they should judge. They will always tell you, the government will tell you they are going to do consultation, but still behind the consultation crowd, they will come to Parliament and they will start fighting with them. So e-levy is the way to go, because everybody is using phone. But what Ghanaians are calling for, the 1.7 is too much for the Ghanaian. We are a developing country. We are now encouraging people to use the electronic means of doing things. So the 1.7 is too much. I would suggest maybe 0.9. Quarter, I'll suggest 1%. For a time being, you can't just start thing from the roof. You can't just start building from the roof. You have to start from the foundation, and then if the foundation is not started well, maybe if they charge 1.7 today and it's accepted, meaning 2 years or 3 years to come, they'll be charging us about 4%, which when you do that, you are killing your economy. So but what I've heard is that the e-levy thing is not part of the agenda in Parliament throughout the week.
That
So
is what they'll be deliberating today. So let's see how it goes, because the finance minister is still on his grounds concerning the 1.75 percentage of the e-levy. He's still on his grounds.
Okay, then
Per the town hall meeting they had.
let's see whether it will be discussed even today.
Interesting. All right, so thank you so much for coming. I am so grateful. What will be your final words to our cherished viewers?
Oh wow, I must say that they should keep on following CMG HTV, because you have a better programs ahead for them, and through you maybe will change the media landscape, and through you they are going to know a lot of things, because you don't just invite anybody here. You invite people with balanced mind, not to talk in favor or against government, but to say the issue as it is. So for your viewers, I'll tell them to continue to follow CMG TV.
Thank you.
And also, I'll say that I feel honored to be seated here. And we've come to this far, irrespective of what ECG did to us.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so grateful that you came today. So I've been here with Mr. Edmund Boye. He is a professional teacher with 17 years of experience and also a social commentator. This is where we wrap up for today. And today, as you can see, I'm looking so touched. Thank you so much, Pascaline, for this beautiful outfit. I am so grateful. And don't forget to also follow us on our social media handles. Facebook is CMGA TV, YouTube is CMGA TV, Twitter CMGA TV, and Instagram CMGA TV. Log on to our website, that is www.cmonline.com.gh, authentic online news portal. My name is Press Moore. On to another exciting episode. Bye.